We're gonna be starting in a couple of 2 minutes, and just heads up, I am sorry. Let me just quickly mute everybody because I'm getting feedback. Okay, so just heads up, we are supposed to have imposter syndrome and creative block as a class, right? But I'm thinking whether we should just separate it, right? Because we technically only have 1 hour, and imposter syndrome in itself alone is a very wide subject. Yeah, and I don't know whether you guys saw the message I dropped on the group where I said Chief Osaretin is going to be the one to. He's not be the one, but he's going to speak with us. Yeah, and when he's done, if there's still time, I will share the presentation that I prepared. And what I prepared is basically a lot of the tips and tricks that has helped me. For real. After this class, I really hope that we go and practice the things that we learned and never have to at any point in our career have to stay too long experiencing imposter syndrome. Because one thing that I've realized is that creative block is like I don't know, I don't want to say easy, but technically it is easier to get rid of than imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome are bastard. That one, it be like that, that weed that used to grow, not weed like smoking, not igbo, like the weed where they plant for ground that is stubborn like this. That weed they used to ask us to go and remove from the ground in when we were in secondary school. You go use cutlass, you go cut and you go come out. Or when you cut and come out finish, 2 weeks later, it has grown back again. So that's how imposter syndrome sometimes operates, right? If they go, if they come, they be like NEPA lights. So, but yeah, we is gonna address all of that tonight. It's already 7 o'clock. Let me just quickly drop a message for our Oga and say, "Hey, Uncle, please join our call, yo." Just give me a moment. Let me quickly drop a message for him. Okay, he has joined. Hey. Good evening. Good evening. I had to mute the Kenya. I don't know whether it affects you. Our able chief.
No, I'm the alpha and omega.
Yeah, so it doesn't affect. Okay, I see. All right. So I had to mute the mic because of feedback. So I think when we're ready to take questions, we can put the microphone back on. So let me do small introduction. I've known this our guy. He may not know, but I've known this guy for years. I think I've known him as long as I've known Yorks, right? I follow him on social media. When he started Jonathan Cole and started posting about Jonathan Cole on Instagram, I was abreast of all that many awesomeness, right? So if you don't know him, his name is Chief Osaretin. He's going to introduce himself later. And he calls himself a genius, and he actually is, because I don't see some of his work. So he's not even blowing smoke up his, you know where that place is. Jesus Christ, I am trying to behave myself. I'm sorry. Okay, but then you guys know what I'm talking about, right? He's a partner at Jonathan Cole. I'm going to share the Instagram link so that you guys can see what I'm saying. So then you're gonna be like, say, and people know that I don't endorse anything or anybody anyhow. But the talk I'm not true. So check them by yourself. So yeah. Well, I'm going to yield the microphone to him and pick up wherever he stops. I don't know whether you saw my message on Twitter. I think we should just separate the class. Creative block is a whole world on its own, and imposter syndrome is another word on its own. So if possible, I wonder if we can just focus on imposter syndrome today and fix a date for creative blog, because even on my own, the presentation that I prepared, I just looked at it again this thing. I was like, this thing is a lot for 1 hour, right? And I don't want people to feel overwhelmed, and I also want them to have the time, the space to digest, whatever it is that we say or that you say, right? and be able to like begin to implement actionable steps. Yeah, so please. And if I mistakenly come to that your house, that green and white something at the back there is gone. I'm sorry. You just say I get hunchback and you're wondering what is going on. Please, over to you, sir.
Is my wife's painting. So this particular piece is actually not available to sell. For sale.
Okay, so let me leave the floor for you. So over to you, sir.
All right, thanks everyone. Thank you so much, Cav, for having me. This started as a response to her tweet, and I mean, honestly, just how do you say it? I still shoot my shot, though. You just shoot your shot, and then it happens. So where do we start from? My name is Chief Osaretin. You can call me Chief. It's actually my name. It's not a title. There's 50,000 people on here. This is quite serious. God, give me wisdom to speak to these people. Anyway, so at the core of who I am, I'm a graphic designer. I love graphic design. I think it's one of the most incredible foundational skills for designing. My argument and my own personal experience is that if you have a good, solid foundation in graphic design, you make a better product designer, a better motion designer, a better UI UX designer, a better product writer or anything, right? But if you understand how to design, because design is beyond just shapes and colors, it's more about solving a problem. And when you're solving a problem, it doesn't matter whether you're using CorelDRAW, Illustrator, whatever tool to solve the problem. What's important that you're solving the problem. So yeah. Imposter syndrome. I think the very basis for imposter syndrome is, or let me start this way. How many of you, so I've had imposter syndrome before, but I've overcome that now, right? So I don't have it anymore. I honestly don't know what it is anymore to me. But how many of you I don't know, I think everybody has access to comment. So if you can comment, or by a show of hands, actually, you can use the hand feature. Raise your hands if you're a self-taught graphic designer. 1, 2, 3. Okay, keep going. Raise your hand if you're a self-taught graphic designer. Okay, so we have 11 people, 12 people. I'm going to assume that maybe let's say, I don't know how many people are on the call. There's 35 people on the call now. Let's say 30 of us here, including myself, are self-taught graphic designers. Now, what that means essentially is that, one moment, please. I know there's a way to change layouts. I like to see myself. It's not showing me myself. Spotlights. It's still not showing myself. Tiles. Okay, it's fine. We'll just leave it that way. So let's say there's 37 of us. Let's say 30 people. Let's say 30 of us here are self-taught designers, including myself. Now, the very core of imposter syndrome comes from a basis of not feeling like you're enough or like you're worthy of that thing that you're being given, right? So I remember the first time I ever got paid over $1 million for design at the time. I couldn't sleep. Not because the money, because at the time I had not gotten paid $1 million for anything, right? So I was like, what did I say to these people that they gave me 1 million? So I try to think about it. I didn't. So, but I kept, I worked on the project, moved on, got on other projects. I mean, now I've lost count of. Now, if it's not USD, I don't want to do the project, right? Or if it's not USD, I really don't do the project. Or if it's not pounds. So now I can do Shakara, right? But I've done this for 10 years plus, and I've had quality experience, right? So I'm going to be touching a lot of things here and there, and hopefully, I sort of narrow it down at the end of the day and, sort of close it up. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to make dinner. So let me just take it off the stove.
Una dey hear dollars, una dey hear pounds. When they no use me play, when they no use me. Okay.
So, actually, at some point, I'm going to take the laptop to the kitchen so you guys will see what's going on. So I can, and then, so I find that, and my learning from imposter syndrome is that it comes from a place of not being. So, for example, if you went to Harvard to study design, what's the imposter syndrome? You will not have it. Have you seen the way Covenant University students behave? They behave like something, they are smoking something, because they are smoking something, not literally, but they are smoking something contextually, right? There's something in the water in Covenant University. There is something in the water. There's something in the water in Harvard. There's something in water in Yale. There's a level of confidence that comes with knowing something, right? So one of the first lessons that I would share with everybody about imposter syndrome is seek knowledge. I mean, understand your craft, because I'm a Christian. So the Bible says that, see, as a man diligent in his work, he will stand before kings and not mean men. The criteria for you standing before kings and not mean men is diligence. You must be diligent in your work. People must see your work and be shocked and wonder, what did this person, this is beyond graphic design. This person is intelligent. They must see excellence. It must be visible before they meet you. They should meet you and be shaking you with two hands. Like, what sort of excellence? How does your mind work? What are you smoking? What do you do? What's your routine? How do you come up? How did you achieve this? That's how people should see you. Now, every time I felt imposter syndrome in my life back in the day, I felt it because number one, I didn't think I knew enough. Number two, I didn't feel like I was worthy of being paid that amount of money, because I felt like a scam. Like, how can I just learn this thing on YouTube and somebody's paying me millions of naira to do this work? You said, check them. Sometimes I'm like, is the person, is he okay? Because and nobody till today has asked me if I went to any, just by the way, this is just on the side, right? I know this is more recorded, so it's okay. Just by the way, I do not have a university degree. I never went to university. I finished secondary school, and that's pretty much the end of my formal schooling that I've ever had in life. Now, have I taken courses along the line? Of course, yes, I have. But I don't have any formal education, like, somebody went to this particular university. I don't have that. I've worked with some of the biggest companies in the world. I mean, not Nigeria, I'm talking about the world. Like, Cap said, I'm a very low-key person under the radar, so I don't talk as much. I worked on so many projects that if I start to name names now, right? One moment again.
Yeah, you should name it to finish us, pepper us, drag our shirts and press our neck, please. See. Oh.
So I worked on so many projects that if I started to name names and call projects, we probably wouldn't. It'll take a while we need a day to go through just maybe 10% of the projects that I worked on with my team over the last 10 years. Now, so point is, I've been someone who, please let me know if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, you can.
Awesome. So my point is, I've been somebody who has been blessed and fortunate enough to work on so many different kinds of projects. Now, one of the things I've never stopped doing is learning. And the way I think about learning is two sides. There's the hard learning and the soft learning. Now, soft learning is the most important part of it for me, because you can always figure out hard learning. It's a lot more. So here are other things. Here are things, skills that designers don't pay attention to, right? Graphic designers or people who do design of any sorts. Emotional intelligence, negotiation, business, managing clients, communication, honesty, integrity, networking, connection, having the right set of people around yourself, learning how to tell stories, learning how to write, learning how to think. It's a skill. Learning how to think is a skill. It's actually a skill. Learning how to curate resources, learning how to curate and put things together. You know, learning how to understand context and scenarios, and learning how to speak to people, learning how to listen. These are important skills because people focus on what software are you using. Is it Illustrator, or is it Photoshop, or is it CorelDRAW, or is it Figma, or is it? I hear these arguments online all the time of, oh, I want to do this thing. You know, my first design software ever that I touched was CorelDRAW. My second design software that I started working with was Illustrator, and I've used the entire Adobe suite for the longest time that I can remember. Maybe about 10 years. For the entire 10 years, I've used, you know, Adobe products. Now, I hear those kind of arguments, and I'm like, you know, or where do you download this mockup from? Where do you download that font from? What font is that? Oh, this color. How do you know? I hear people online when they judge logos and judge at their brand identity work, and they say, oh, you know, this, you could have done this and done that and done that. Look, no logo is trash, right? At the end of the day, no logo is trash. You just have to look at it from the eyes of the people who created it, who crafted it. Because when you start working with serious stakeholders and you start working with big teams, you will understand some things, and you will go back to your Twitter and start to delete on tweets that you tweeted years ago because you realize that, boy, did I not know this thing. By show of hands, second question, by show of hands, how many people can use Excel sheets and, you know, Google Sheets or Excel sheets? How many people can use Excel sheets? Okay, so a lot of us can. Now, in my book, one of the most essential tools that a designer needs to learn how to use is Excel sheets. Because when you're working on projects, one of the most important aspects of your project is not just creating the design, it is documentation. It is thinking through the process and the projects and the context for your work and creating a system that solves that problem. So I'll give you an example, right? Now, all these things I'm trying to say is just to sort of give you context around imposter syndrome, and I'll land somewhere eventually. Now, I worked on a project in 2019 or so, and at the time I had a MacBook. Maybe I think my MacBook was 8 gig, 128. So it was very small in terms of memory and storage. But I had to work on large format materials and stuff. So we worked on, my team and I worked on Flytime Music Festival. I don't know if anybody knows that, but we worked at Flytime Music Festival 2019, 2021, 2022. And then for those 3 years, my team and I worked on all of the environmental graphics, branding, and anything you saw, both on digital and print. And we worked on so many touch points. Now, the one aspect, key success point to that project was Excel sheets. We needed to have everything written down. The number of copies this has to be printed. And we had to think for the printer. And don't forget, you are not printing in a country where there's standards. You're printing in a country where standards are tricky, right? So we had to think for the printer. We had to craft the document for each printer because we didn't print with one set of printer. We printed with 3 or 4 different printers. So we had to craft these Excel sheets to fit their behavior and how they would act. Now, I've not talked about using Illustrator, how to curve fonts, or how to do this, or how to do that. Those things are not important in the grand scheme of things. They are nice to have, but they're not really the core things that really solve problems and get clients to pay you big money. So we've done all of that. And then one of the things that, so my computer I couldn't design things like 16 feet by 80 feet, or 100 feet by, what am I saying? 100 feet, yeah, 100 feet by, 10 feet high. My computer couldn't take that. Now, what did I do? Because I learned how to think, I thought, what's more important in this thing is the aspect ratio, right? So I said, okay, I'll divide 100 by 10. It gives me 100 by 10 is 10. I divide the heights. So one of the So if you walk into a if you've been to a hotel before, if you walk into a hotel, the entrance by signature to a convention center, that major entrance by signature, that stretch is about 110 feet. Yeah, I think it's about 110 feet. The height is roughly about 9 feet, 8 feet there, but if I'm not mistaken. Now, because I know the aspect ratio is what's more important. Yeah, 8 feet, yes. So because I know the aspect ratio is what's more important, I said, okay, I divided the height and the width and the length by a number that I know my computer could take. So because I know that also printers print with aspect ratio, that's much more important. And if you're smart enough to lock the design or lock the aspect ratio, you're good. So I reduced the size. Now I could have complained to my client, or I could have been sulking or being sad. My computer, I need to buy a new MacBook for this project or new computer for this project. My computer is not fast enough. But I used that MacBook till 2021. Sorry, till 2022 before I replaced it. So I had worked on so many large format print projects from 2019 when I bought that MacBook to 2022. But I understood the thought processes to think. So you have to know how to think, because when you get into difficult problems, again, one of the things that causes imposter syndrome is not when you even get into situations and you are frustrated because the money you've collected for the project that you're working on is not going to fund the tools you need. And in that stage of your life, again, because we cannot get fancy and talk about you must charge this amount of money, you must charge this amount of money for project. No, but you have to make sure that the lights are turned on. You have to make sure that you have power, you have fuel in your gen, you have when the light comes, you have units in your meter, or you have you have what do you call it now? Credit on your phone, you have data, you have all these things. It's not you can pay for your software, right? Okay, I'm going to ask a very controversial question. It shouldn't be controversial, but people think it's controversial. By a show of hands, how many people pay for their software? Particularly Adobe Creative Suite. How many people pay for software? Pay. It's okay if you don't pay. I'm not going to arrest you. Just a question. Now, I think, or actually, my opinion is that you should pay for your software. You should pay for your software. It's very important. And I'll tell you the simple reason why. People like you created that software. Somebody designed the graphics. Somebody designed the tool. Somebody wrote the code for it. Somebody wrote the front end, back end, something. Somebody hosted it. Somebody did product management. Somebody did all those things. Just similarly, you're working on stuff like that. Now, think about it. If you put yourself in those people's shoes, if you were in their shoes and you worked on those kind of tools and people were getting it for free, how much do you think your salary would be? If you're supposed to be paid 200,000, sorry, maybe you're paid 1 million naira per month, for example, but people are not buying your software, they are hacking it. Now, if the company is supposed to make a certain profit and they're not making that amount of profit, your salary will go down from maybe 1 million supposed to be to 500,000 or 400,000 naira. Because people don't think about it that way. We just think, oh, I can hack it. So I'm very good at hacking stuff. I can hack my software and not pay for it. But I've been a paying Adobe customer for the longest time. I don't remember when last. Actually, for the longest time, I've been a paying Adobe customer. And I know it looks like it's expensive, but you don't think about it well. You think about it you think about it too big. You think about it granular. You understand that it's not expensive. But that aside, now to build a foundation that gives you confidence, so that imposter syndrome does not disturb you anymore. It becomes a thing of the past. Knowledge is really the base of that. And you have to learn wide. You can't learn narrow. So you can't learn only just how to use your software, how to design, those things are base. So for example, there are projects I work on and I don't know how to achieve something, but I know how to ask questions. I know how to learn. I know how to think. So I think, what am I trying to solve? And I did okay. And then, Google it, how to do this thing and do this thing. Somebody fills up a video pops up on YouTube and I watch the video. It's a 10-minute video. I watch it over and over again. I learn it. I work on it. I send it to your client. Client is happy. Because it doesn't matter what software you use. Nobody cares. Your client does not care. It's not important. It's not relevant. What's more important is that you can solve a problem for your clients. Now, when we say read wide, it goes beyond just looking at things for your tools and your whatever things you do. Read things like magazines, right? Look for quality magazines that has quality design, quality print, quality content, and spend your money on those things and read those things. Because the more knowledge you have, the more confidence is built inside of you. Now, the more confidence is built inside of you, the more there's no space for imposter syndrome to show up. Because now the thing that is in the water in Harvard is knowledge. Is there's something about that, about being in Harvard, that makes you feel a certain kind of way. So you need to find your own Harvard or your own Yale or Covenant University or whatever it is, and build that system, and then learn those things, and then use those things to your advantage, at work or anything that you're doing. Now, one of the greatest things, that one of the most incredible things that magazines that I read is this magazine called Monocle, right? And I'm going to show you something just out of the blue. Now, it has so many adverts. Now, how many people know this brand? By show of hands, how many people know this brands? This particular brand? Anyone? You people are not lucky.
We don't know it though. We don't know it though.
Okay, well, Rimowa is one of the biggest luggage brands in the world, right? I didn't know Rimowa too. It's by reading things like this that I learned about Rimowa, right? And I think I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but I want to read what the text here says, right? So you can tell me, and I don't know if we can allow people to talk now, because I want this to be very engaging. So people can tell me how they feel after reading this. So I think if we can.
Yeah, mics are on now.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm going to read it out, and then I want just a few people to tell me. So raise your hands, and I'll tell you you can speak, and then I can pick a few people. Don't you people are not getting English.
You never asked you now.
They didn't ask you who is this Smith of the person, and it's not competition. I will still not call your name. In fact, I'll call anybody at random. Don't raise your hands anymore. So listen carefully. How many years does it take to make your Rimowa? You could say it takes every one of our you could say it takes every one of our 126 years of history. Then there's many years of experience of our German engineering team brought to life by our craftspeople under the philosophy of something in German, but the translation of that is the art of engineering. But the truth is, just as the start of the journey, but the truth is that's just the start of the journey. Because when a case leaves our factory, it goes beyond being made by you, forged by your travels together, through every scratch, bump, sticker, and even repair, thanks to our lifetime guarantee. The only limit to how long it takes to make your case is how far you want to go. Then at the bottom, they wrote engineered for life. A graphic designer did this. A copywriter, a graphic designer, art director, there was a whole campaign team that did this. But the graphic designer, at the end of the day, put this together, right? Now, some clients will say this is not going to sell their product, but this right here is such a powerful ad that will sell this product massively. I've always wanted to buy a Rimowa case. I'm actually going to get one very soon. I want to get one of these cases very soon, right? Now, when you read this kind of thing, so I want people to give feedback. I'm just going to pick. I'm very partial to ladies, so Adelokun Precious. I don't know if that's a lady or guy, but Adelokun Precious, give me your feedback.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What did you think? In just a simple sentence, what did you think about the thing I just read?
I feel their product is very good, and
okay. Adesheyi Abiyu. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Yeah. What do you think?
I I think it's kind of it's relatable with like the end user's journey. So it goes beyond the production and goes into like how it affects or how it builds into your everyday life as you use the product.
Okay, thank you very much. Esther Oge. Is Esther Oge in church? Ellen Dada. Okay, well, let's just move on. So, except you guys can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. Ayomide, yes, please give me your feedback. Tell me what you think.
All right, thank you. Good evening.
Good
All right,
evening.
I think more than just the features of the brand, they also added story to it, and I believe that story is a very good thing to sell a brand too.
To sell a product or a brand, yes. Okay. So thank you for the feedback, everyone. Now, when you read things like this, it changes the way you think about design. It changes the way you think about delivering stuff. And even when you're having a conversation with your clients, and the client is telling you, oh, I want to do banner for so in my product, I want to sell it. When you use this as a reference, two things are going to happen. The client is going to think that this person is not just a graphic designer. They are more than a graphic designer, because they're telling me that thing I want to do is not going to work. This is probably what's going to sell my products. I'm going to read another one to you. This is a bank, an investment bank. It's called UBS. Now, when's the best time to trust your instincts? Then the response is when our insights help back them up. Banking is our craft. Hunches are just hunches, but to help you make informed investment decisions, we'll put our insights at your fingertips. With our unparalleled research and global presence, you get advanced analysis from all markets, industries, and asset classes. That's all the adverts. That's all. They didn't say come and buy bonds, come and buy savings. We have savings accounts, we have current accounts, we have debit card, we have platinum card, we have MasterCard, we have Visa card. Nobody said that one. Look at how they. Now, of course, this is written to evoke an emotion in the target audience. It's not for you now. You've not finished putting money in your savings account. You're not thinking about investing. It's not. There's a level when you'll be using investment bank. You'll not be using GTB. Even in GTB, it's not every branch. It's not every GTB branch I can go to. I only go to GTB branch in VI. That's the headquarters. That's the branch I go to, or the one in phase 1. Those are the 2 branches I go to now. Thank God. Before I can go to anybody, now I can. Even so, and there's a level you go to. You will be going to Amadou Jukutu in VI, off Sakatinobu, where Coronation Bank is. Because Coronation Bank is a bank, but it's not a bank that you go and do savings accounts. It's investment banking. So there's a level. Now, when you're talking to GC Bank customers, you can't talk to you. There's a way you talk to them. Now you talk to Coronation Bank customers. How many people know that there's a bank called Citibank in Nigeria, and they just celebrated 20 years in Nigeria? How many people know that it's Citibank in Nigeria? They're in Nigeria. How many times who have you sent money in your life that has Citibank accounts? Who have you sent money? Who have you sent money in your life that has they've been here. They've been here for 20 years, actually. Who have you sent money in your life that has bank accounts? Have you even sent dollar out of your account before? Have you received dollar? You know. Ajayi, well, you have this your expert, you have to explain the story so that people don't think about it out of context. So my point with all of this is what I'm trying to say is that look, things like this improve your thinking, improve your mind, improve your understanding of life, your understanding of things, because design branding goes beyond just. There are times when I'm working on a project, I don't show clients any work. Our proposals now is a 1-page document. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, right? But that didn't happen overnight. it happened with consistent learning to the point where even the way you look. So let me now break it down and tie this up with a ribbon. Number one, you must find ways to learn and learn quality things. Don't worry yourself about learning how to do graphic design and how to do curve, how to look at this tutorial. Don't worry yourself. Leave it. Read other things. Read about management. Read about personal management. Read about time management. Read about emotional intelligence. Read books like How to Win Friends and Influence People. Book about emotional intelligence. Book about understanding. Pick up an exercise routine. Go for a run. Listen to podcasts. Listen to other founders talk about how they built their company. When you're not having conversations with people, you have more parallel and more contexts to give beyond just, oh, the graphic design, what we're going to do, so it's going to look like this. No, you can explain to somebody that this is what you want to do. You have more context to make. Now, you are now talking to people beyond just, colors and fonts and text and shapes, right? You can give more parallels and context to it. So number one, gather as much knowledge as you can. Number two, find the thing that gives you the most confidence and maximize that thing, right? So for some people, so now you have to think about it this way. There are things that I do that give me confidence to do some certain things. Now, I have 3 glasses that I wear. I have 3 because I need glasses to see. I have 3 of them. Now, these are my favorite glasses. And I'll tell you the reason why. I've loved this glasses brand called Persol. It's called P-R-S-O-L for a long time. And they make really good glasses. They have a heritage story behind them. So I love those kind of things. And I love to collect items. Now, I've always loved glasses like this that have this kind of design. I think they're called tortoise shell something design. I've always loved things like this. Now, I remember when I bought these glasses, it cost me some good amount of money to buy. I've had it since 2018. But they're really, really solid glasses. And those other ones, I've had them since 2019, 2020, but these are my favorite glasses to wear. Now, but I know the reason why I bought these glasses and the story behind me buying new glasses, right? These glasses cost, at the time when I bought it, it cost me 150K or so. And I had to pay twice because I didn't have so much money at the time. Don't worry, 150K is small money. It's not big money. But point is, at the time, it was a lot of money for me because I didn't even have it. So, but interestingly, I knew the owner of the business. I knew his sister, so I was able to talk to her, and she said, "It's fine. Pay what you have now. We'll keep the glasses with us." And then I was even able to buy it at 150K because they were doing discount at the time. They were doing discount sales, so that's how I was able to buy it at that one. If not, it was about 200 and something or so. So she said, "It's fine. We'll pay for it since you like it. Pay for it now. We'll lock it down for you, and then you pay your remaining balance." I think about a week later, then I paid the balance and I got my glasses. Now, when I'm going into meetings, this is what I wear because these glasses fits me best. I love the style. It works well for me. I know the story behind it. It gives me confidence, right? Now, the thing that you have to find those little things that give you confidence. It might be keeping a particular, so I collect things a lot. I collect miniature cars. I collect toys. I have a whole collection of Minions. I love watching cartoons. I have a collection of Minions. I have collections of other type of cartoon stuff. I love the, what are these guys? The penguins of Madagascar. I have a couple of those penguins as well. Now, sometimes when I keep those things on my desk when I'm in a meeting. Now, those things give me confidence, right? So when I'm having a conversation with the clients, those things are boosting my confidence. Imposter syndrome doesn't come. Because sometimes imposter syndrome comes when you're working on a project or trying to create a logo. And I put it to you that some of the time, most of the reasons, the reason why you procrastinate on working on the project or creating that logo for a client or creating that website or whatever this project you're trying to do, and why you waste time in quotes saying you're looking for inspiration is because you have imposter syndrome. That's why. It has nothing to do with procrastination. You are procrastinating because you don't know how to solve the problem. And you don't know how to solve the problem because you have imposter syndrome because you also don't know how to think. So when you learn how to think, you learn how to solve problems, and you understand how to resolve. You move from it's just being graphics to I'm creating an identity, right? Even when I want you to know that one of the most respected graphic designers in the world, Michael Berut, which by the way, if you don't know him, I don't even know what you are doing on this call. You might as well leave the call. but it's okay. I forgive you. Today is a good day. I'm in a forgiving mood, so I forgive you. If you don't know Pentagram, if you don't know Michael Berut or Sasha Paula Sher, these are superhero graphic designers. Now, abroad, of course, in Nigeria, if you say you're a graphic designer, they will think that it's Shomolu that you work. But if you say you're a graphic designer abroad, they will respect you, right? The context is different. So in Nigeria, so even how you describe yourself, yeah, I know. I always know that you like Paula because I've seen your design style. I'm not saying that you guys have similar styles. I'm just saying I can tell that you get a lot. You know, like Paula is a mentor to you. That's what I could tell. So I was, when you said that, I'm not really surprised. So now learning how to learn, learning how to think, understanding all these things, and learning how to talk and learning how to communicate is beyond just talking English. See, when you read things like this, when you go through magazines, like when you read adverts like this, you have more context on things to talk about. You have more ways to explain things. I mean, look at this ad, for example. Look at this ad, right? Look at this whole graph. Look at how they laid this thing, right? Because if graphic design is not making money, why has Pentagram not closed down? Why do they have clients like Rolls-Royce as their client? Do you know what it means to have Rolls-Royce as your clients? Do you know how much a Rolls-Royce is? Do you know how it takes? It takes 6 months to make one Rolls-Royce. You know what it is to have a Rolls-Royce as your client? They have anybody what they've worked with them. Pentagram has worked with them. If design wasn't paying, why are they still in business? With offices all over the world. Well, not all over the world, literally. I don't think they have any offices in Africa, so it's not all over the world. But why? Because there's something there that we don't know, right? So I spend more time. I don't have any book on design. I've never bought any book on design in my money. I only have one book on that looks like it's a book on design. You know what? In fact, let me just go to my library and be skill media concept. Turn on your video. There's no light in your house. Off your video. Off it. Off your video. Give me 1 second. Let me bring some books for you guys.
Another year. Hey. Hell. Somebody said this will be like deliverance session, and lie, yeah, no lie. Oh. I want to go back and change how much I'm collecting.
You get in your address, make I come carry that book, I beg.
No, dear. If I tell you go reach there before me, I don't want.
We can go together Saturday, 10 p.m.
No.
I get mask.
No. But I hope you guys are learning a lot, honestly. My mind. I know I'm confused. I see. Oh God. You know when they expand boxer, my mind is expanding like boxer.
I don't exit my elastic limit past like this, like seriously.
You see, people should just write as much as you can. Yeah.
If they say I'm not joining this call, I'll rest for myself.
I for cry if I don't invite this man. I say I know they endorse anybody anyhow. I know they call anybody name anyhow. Say follow this person. I know they. Let me give you guys this social media. I will drop the link in the chat. Please mute your mic, yo. Please. Anyway, mute your mic.
Okay. Sorry, guys, for that breaking transmission. Now, so I have some books here that I'm going to recommend to you guys to read eventually later. But hey, come back here. Sorry, my dog. We're learning, and he's also pouring out. So I have some things that I want to also show you guys. What was I talking about finance? Again? Somebody remind me.
You're talking about design books. That you don't read design books, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of design books, and I have 2 design books, and they were gifts. I have another book on service design. I've never been able to use a massive book, but I have this book. Aaron Dramplin is one of my favorite graphic designers in the world. And this is a book about, it's literally pretty much, it's just a book about his life, his design, his journey, nothing about design in quotes. I'm not saying design books are bad. I'm just saying I don't have. There are a few that I like to buy. I think I'll buy them, but I'm just saying I don't have. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying don't worry too much about them. Now, when I told you I have, look, this Monocle magazine, I've been reading it for a long time. This is just part of my collection. This is just part of it. I have some other ones. This I just grabbed this one because it was more closest. And see, I use these book markers things to highlight beautiful things. This is this is 2023, so this is more recent. This is one from 2019. Now, I want to read it. There's an ad at the back of the magazine. It's an ad for a watch brand called Patek Philippe. The cheapest Patek Philippe is roughly about $20,000, if I'm correct. Right now, I think the cheapest you get is roughly about $20,000, thereabouts. Now, what it says here is you never actually own a Patek Philippe. You merely look after it for the next generation. If you read this kind of thing, how will it not change your mind? How will your mind not open? Help answer me, children of God. Answer me. This is an old magazine. Oh. This is what from 2019 April. Look at the creativity. Look at that line. Look at this. Not all these things. How will your work not stand out if you are reading and looking at things like this? How look at it? Where will anyway? So when I go anywhere, like I got this from Design Week Lagos, I think last year. There was a brand called KRE showcasing. So I took this. So I'm always taking magazines anywhere I go, especially if it's well designed and it's from a foreign brand. Some few Nigerian businesses and Nigerian brands design their magazines well. Great for them, but I don't care. So I collect these things because I like to keep them for research because it's not some reasons I have magazines on so many different kinds of things. Now my point is read wide. Now read wide, number one. Number two, learn soft skills. Now soft skills, learn how to think, learn how to ask questions, learn how to listen, learn how to observe, learn how to learn how to ask people questions, learn how to listen to people in conversations. Because when I promise you, if you learn how to listen, you will get more knowledge than you need than you think you will get. Learn how to volunteer. Now, volunteering is a tricky thing. So volunteer, and when you are volunteering for something, you decide what the value is to you. Don't let people tell you what the value is. Because most times people trying to tell you what the value is, they're trying to manipulate you. So you decide what the value is and then get that value. Now, remove yourself from situations that there's strife. Remove yourself from situations that there's unnecessary competition. You're not competing with anybody. The sky is too broad. Just if it was so, with all the birds flying in the air, I've never heard that two birds crash before. So remove yourself from situations that there's too much strife. Now, another thing that you want to also do is find things that boost your confidence. Sometimes it's a hairstyle that you cut that boosts your confidence. Sometimes it's the friends that you speak with, the people that you hang out with that boost your confidence. See, there are calls I don't take at certain times of the day. If I'm going to a meeting, there are calls I will not take. Because I know if I speak with that person, it will reduce my energy and I'm about to get into a meeting and I'll be upset. Find a ritual that works for you. I know ritual is not a bad word because people think about ritual, they think about sacrifice and is it more and things like that. Find a ritual that works for you. Build a system around yourself, right? Have a system for working, for solving problems. Have a process, right? So for example, my typical day is I wake up at 5:20, I'm at the gym by 5:30. I leave the gym at 5:30. I'm at the gym by about 5:50, and then gym opens at 6. I work out till about 8 a.m. I'm back home, get ready, have breakfast and all that, and then by 10, I'm ready to work. I work from 10 to 4 p.m. Once 4 p.m., I'm not taking any call. I'm not answering anybody. Now, you have to build systems like that because you need to do other things that fill your buckets, that fill your energy. So you can't work 24 hours. It's not going to make the design come any faster. You need to have healthy work-life balance is important. So it's a balancing act. You can, take your work seriously. Don't just joke with this graphic design. You're not just you are solving real problems. Take it seriously. You need to think about yourself as you are a doctor. You are a doctor solving problems with design. Your tools is design. Your stethoscope is design. Is your mouse, is your cursor, is your brain. There are designs I solve. See, and I promise you guys, learn how to use a notebook and a pencil. I prefer pencil because it feels more. It helps me work better than pen. Look, I solve problems for my clients here. If you can look at this, I'm working on something for a website. You can see that it says header text. Okay, I wish this camera could flip, but I have on here. See, I'm solving for something for a website. I didn't use my design and Figma to be. I wrote it down here on paper, pencil and paper. And I have so many notebooks like this. I can show. Okay, I think later this week we're going to release one of the projects we worked on for a film company. The logo. I'm showing you guys here for the first time. This is the sketch of the identity. I was not using graphics. I was not looking. I just using here to solve the problem. So many things. Sometimes I write in pencil, sometimes I write in biro. My point is learn how to think. And when you're thinking, you write down your thoughts. As you're thinking about it, you write it down. When you get a project, don't first go, let me start designing graphics. No, that you have already failed like that. I'm not saying that you need to learn how to sketch the logo. That's not important. All those things people tell you, learn how to sketch or draw your logo first on paper before you put it in. Don't worry yourself about that. I'm not a great sketch. I don't sketch my logo. I just sketch the idea. And my notebook might not make sense to anybody else, but it makes sense to me. It's okay. Just the way you cannot understand doctor's handwriting, but you give it to the pharmacist. The pharmacist say, he wants you to buy Panadol 3 and this drug 3. You be like, I can't see Panadol there. Neither can I see his drug. What are you? Is my glasses not working? Right? So, but the doctor understands the handwriting. So does the pharmacist. So does the nurse. So it's okay. Your book is your personal. Nobody needs to understand. You are not giving this book to anybody. Nobody sees this book except my wife. Nobody looks at this document. Do you get? So document your thoughts. Write stuff out. It's very important. Another thing that you need to do is listen to podcasts. You hear how people solve problems, different kinds of problems in their startups, in their businesses, in their lives. Now, those things expose your mind to different contexts, and you can find an idea for. So, I've gotten ideas for brand identities for logos by reading books that had nothing to do with design. I've gotten it from watching movies, from watching series, from watching so many things, from listening to podcasts, from having conversations with people, from looking at magazines. I've gotten an idea for logos, for identities, for campaigns, for stuff. Now, the final part of this is curate the things. Now, going back to things that boost your confidence, the clothes you wear is important, right? And now, one of the things I do, I don't joke with the things that give me confidence. What I mean by that is I wake up in the morning, I work from home. So this is my house, right? But I have a desk and a chair. Now you might not have a dedicated chair, and you might not, in your situation now, you might not have that. But when I lived in a studio apartment, and for those of you who don't know, studio apartment is, in Nigeria, you could call it one bedroom apartment or self-contained. So I've lived in a self-contained in Nigeria, before. And when I lived there, I had a desk and a chair in my apartment. I wish I could show you guys my, let me see if I can find my previous apartment picture and show you guys favorites. So you can see that this thing is not a, you don't have to have, in quotes, that big space. Because people like to say, oh, I don't have enough space, whatever. Yeah, making excuses. Oh, where's this picture? Where's this picture? I can't find it. I can't see your screen again. No. Can you hear my voice? That's what's more important. Don't worry about my screen. I can't find it, but I live in a very small studio apartment. Right? Bathroom, kitchen, room. So my bed was in my room, but I had a desk and a chair. I bought that chair that time, 45K. The table was a plastic table that folded. But because I knew the space I was in, I bought a table that I could collapse. So if you go for weddings a lot, these tables that they put on table, those tables are collapsible. They can fold them in pieces, right? Now, so I had that table and chair. So what I do in the morning, I wake up in the morning, shower, get ready. I leave my bed area. So where my bed is just on the side. Literally, I'm seeing my bed, and I sit down on my desk and start working at 10 o'clock every day. And once it's 4 o'clock, I'm done. I'm done. That bed chair area becomes my entertainment because I didn't have a TV. I had my laptop and I switched to working and Netflix because I'm watching a movie or something, and I make dinner and I eat. That's in space where my fridge was. But I had a routine. Now, part of those things is what boosted my confidence. Do you get? Because part of things that sometimes we're not disciplined enough, so this thing you are doing is not a joke. Design, you are solving real problems for real business. You need to understand that. This is a lot of you might know Mike Todd. This is a graphic designer put this book cover together. Mike Todd could have written this book, and that if the cover is not this beautiful, some people will buy. But what are people that don't know Mike Todd? Some people will go to the bookshop, and because of the cover, they will pick the book. In fact, a lot of people pick books because of the cover. Look at this one, Open Strategy. Tore the paper out. Look at this. Right? Look at this book. Look at this one. Look at different book covers, but somebody thought through these things. There's a reason why these things are like this. Somebody thought through that. So you're solving an actual problem. So take your work seriously, find confidence boosters, learn wide, research right, read right, take courses on things that have nothing to do with your field in code. Take courses on communication, take courses on how to print, take courses, ask questions, ask your printer questions, learn from your printer, take courses on color. Because the more you know, the more confidence you have. And the more confidence you have, the more imposter syndrome doesn't have the space to stay in your system. I don't know what imposter syndrome is anymore. In my early years, yes, my first 1 or 2 years, I don't know what it is anymore. So you have to understand that knowledge is the thing that eliminates imposter syndrome from your life. If you don't have knowledge, forget about it. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, in summary, before I think because I love to take questions. I want everybody as much questions as we can take. I would love to. Cav, I will leave it at a discussion to tell me how many questions you want us to take, and then we can take those questions. And I'll allow you also call. I think I'll allow you decide whose question you want me to answer.
Yeah. Oh, my enemies. Have you? Have offended me in the past. I will not allow you to ask questions today. So, before we get into all of that, I want to say.
No, wait. Let me just wrap up for you before you give me your vote of thanks.
No, I'm not even doing vote of thanks. I just want to say thank you and then ask people if they have questions. That's where I was going.
Oh, okay, awesome. So, my point is, be very intentional about what you're doing. And at the end of the day, the core thing that really drives away imposter syndrome is knowledge. If you don't know what you are doing, why I say read right and read wide is that there are people who are not doing things in your field that are facing the same problem you are facing. But if you focus on the field, on the area where you think you know, to find the information, you will not find the right information. Because all things work together for good. All things work together for good. Good, bad, ugly. Things that you don't think will make sense work together for good. And God uses the foolish things of this world to confirm the wise. And our wisdom is God's foolishness is not up to our wisdom. If God does a foolish thing, as in he's foolish, in God's standard, it's not up to your nobody's wisdom on planet Earth, even Solomon, you know which one. So learn to find information and inspiration. And I'm not saying inspiration is not good, I'm not saying motivation is not good, but you have to move beyond. See, the most successful people in the world and the most people that have made it in life and are still making it today, that people that you admire, they don't wait for inspiration. They don't wait for motivation. They have a routine. They have discipline. They don't have motivation and inspiration. They don't. The work is the work. You do the work. What's all this? And I'm not feeling motivated. I'm not feeling inspired. Oh, look at you. I think it's by that. Do you know how many days I wake up in the morning? I don't want to go to the gym. I have a routine. So I wake up at 5:20, shower. But I lay my clothes, my gym wear, ready to be for the next morning. My running shoes, my gym shoes by this ready. I wake up. I force myself. There are days when I feel excited to go to the gym. There are other days when I'm not excited, but I do it anyway. So the people that you admire, they have routines, they have discipline, they have a structure, they have a process. Because it's those things that bring the things. It's not about whether, we are inspired or you're motivated. Sit down, start thinking through the logo, start writing, start sketching it out, start doing it on your computer, start doing it, keep refining it till you get to the point where this makes sense. Learn other skills. Because let me tell you something. There are people I've seen, some of the logos that Pentagram does. There are people who wonder. It's funny. You need to wonder sometimes. How did they? Because let me tell you something. Some of the logos that Pentagram does, if you do that logo and give your client, they will not approve it. Selling a story and crafting your identity and putting all those things together to present to your client goes beyond just using mock-up. So you need to know the type of mock-up to use. You need to know the mock-up. And those things. See, you need to pay attention. So, for example, if I was your client and you don't pay attention, if you bring, I'll tell you things I like. I don't know if things I don't like make sense here. But if you show me, so I'm an Apple fanboy, right? I'm a huge Apple fan person. Now, but I also love other things. Now, if you are working for me or working with me as a client, or I'm your client, and you're the agency working on my project, and you're presenting your brand identity, you might want to put that logo on a coffee mug. That's really lovely coffee mug. I might be inspired by that and choose, because the thing that makes your client choose your logo sometimes has nothing to do with the logo. Just couldn't tell the story. I can promise you, if you show me some logo that your client's rejected, let me be the person on that side of to sell me. I will sell your client to collect that logo they rejected from me. In fact, I can bet you your client to pay me more money to do the same exact logo that you did. It's the exact same thing. They pay me more money because I know how to talk to them. I know how to communicate beyond just, I'm just doing graphics, I'm just doing logo. And another thing that causes some sort of imposter syndrome, because the very definition of imposter syndrome, let me just Google it so that it not be that, imposter syndrome meaning. Google definition says it's a behavioral health phenomenon described as self-doubt of intellect, skills, or accomplishments among high-achieving individuals. You are not yet a high-achieving individual. Why are you having imposter syndrome, Seth? Let's say we'll start from that. Because I didn't see this thing before. Now I've seen it now. What? Okay, let's read another definition. The persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own effort People suffering from imposter syndrome may have high risk, maybe at high risk of increased at maybe at increased risk of anxiety. So no, you have not made it in life. Why are you? Because really, this is from National Institute of Health. Imposter syndrome, IS in brackets, is, you know what? Let me share my screen. Let's not be that I'm yabbing somebody. Because you will say, use me and go and drag me on Twitter, which is okay. You can drag me. I really don't care. What's my own? I will go now answer you. So can you see my screen, everyone? You can see it. See it now. Imposter syndrome is a behavioral health phenomenon described as self-doubt of intellect, skills, or accomplishments among high-achieving individuals. What have you achieved? Don't get me wrong. I'm just making a joke, but I'm saying, what have you achieved that you are having imposter syndrome? What have you achieved? What have you done that you're having imposter syndrome? But the second definition says the persistent inability to believe that once, which I talked about when we started, that you believe that because I didn't get this thing by hard work in quotes, or it didn't feel hard to get. So because I learned how to do logo on YouTube. I just saw one YouTube tutorial, or now I saw one TikTok video or one Instagram video, and now I've done it. I've done this logo for this client, and the client paid me 3 million for this work. Okay, let's do this by show of hands. If you've been paid, okay, no, let's not say. Let me not do that. So people don't feel some kind of way. If this was a safe space, I would have done it. Maybe meeting me and Carl, we can do that one. So my point is, find the thing. So, and guys, this thing I know it's not aspire to McGuire or aspire to sweat or whatever. This is real things that I've lived my life. I don't have a university degree, like I said again, but I promise you, if I don't tell you, you wouldn't know, right? And I've learned so many things along the years of my life that you can't tell. Nobody even asks or cares about those things. But you know where they would have asked. If I walk into a meeting, I can't pronounce some certain words well, they will know. But you see, because I know that I don't have these things, because self-awareness is also important. You need to be self-aware of it and know the things that you don't have and start to work on them. So that when you show up, because a diligent man or a diligent woman, somebody who's complete, who knows everything. Now, I'm not saying you have to know everything now. I'm saying you're always a work in progress. I'm learning new things every day. I'm working on a project and I'm learning new skills. Every day I'm learning new things. But you have to be in a constant state of always learning. And you don't have to even do it actively, you can do it passively. While you are working, you are listening to a podcast, while you are taking a break, while you are eating. Every time now I'm eating, I'm watching something, I'm learning something while I'm eating. Sometimes when I'm eating, I'm reading a book. When I'm going to the bathroom to do number 2, right? I carry a book to the bathroom and I'm reading. I'm not with my phone looking at Instagram. Don't think about it as don't be a consumer. Don't have a consumer mindset. Have a creator mindset. Have a value adding person. Be a person who adds value. That's how you should think about it. And to add value, you need to have value. And you need to get valuable things into your system so that those things can now bring out more valuable things for you or through you when you're in different situations. So it's important. Anyway, I'm going to take questions now. Let me not overflow this matter. I'm going to take questions so that I can deal with some issues, particularly to people. And this is okay. So in fact, I don't mind your sub recording. I wish, but it's fine. We can say it's fine. I don't think anybody will catch your face or whatever. So, Cav.
Thank you very much. Let me not do vote of thanks while you catch me again. So, guys, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Yeah, your mics are off for now, but just raise your hand. But I want to quickly say something about how you are going to ask your questions. Please do not ask close-ended questions. See, we know what they say, when you want to squeeze bread, squeeze them well. Use this opportunity and squeeze Chief Osaretin well, for the knowledge that he has. So think about your questions deeply, right? And if possible, let it be like a 3-in-1 question. We don't have a lot of time, so go straight to the point. Don't just go straight to your testimony. Tell us what God has done for you, and let us close shop. Get so. I'm going to go by order
Like you do
of.
it in living faith.
So I put on your mic. Mabry Smith. If you have any questions, please raise your hand now. No go to say it's not shaking. Mabry Smith, please take us away. Well, technically, don't take us away. But...
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
The question I wanted to ask is that as a upcoming graphic designer, what are the things you need to look up to, like for a starting point? That's just the thing I want to ask.
What are the what? Say it again.
Like the things, what are the requirements? What are the things you should know?
I've already answered
Like
that question during the course of my conversation in this last 1 hour. So listen to the replay of this again. Listen to the replay carefully, and then you'll hear the answer to your question. Next person.
All right, thank you. Godwin Ijeoma. Is Godwin Ijeoma here? Going, gone. Oluwaseun Oremade.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I would like if you can recommend some. What kind of books would you recommend for people who want to expand their knowledge in how to have conversation and how to ask the right questions, how to stay curious in every aspect of life. So yeah.
Okay. I was going to do this at the end, but now that you asked that question, I might as well just do it now. One of my favorite books that I've read, and I've really been one of the most incredible books I've read, that is an all-encompassing book, is this book, 1001 Ways to Creativity. There's no author. I don't even know where you will find this book. And this book, everybody has begged me for it. I not give anybody. This book is in my vault. It's in my vault that I want to bring it out. So 1001 Ways to Creativity. Find this book and read it. It's a very great book. Another book is called Perennial Seller by Ryan Holiday. So what I'll do is, I know you guys have a Telegram group. I'm going to take pictures of this because send it to Cap, and then Cap will send it to you guys in the group so you can have, just in case you can't see it clearly. So Perennial Seller by, and this book, The Art of Making a Marketing Work That Lasts. So that's the book. I told you people, you don't need to hear what you want to go and Google the book now and find the back one and pay somebody you write book in this life. Somebody will Google your book, they will not pay you for it. That's all. That person that say Google will have the book, that will gonna happen to you. Starts with Why. Very incredible book by Simon Sinek. Another book, The Villager by Feyi Olubodun. And one very incredible book that I've read that I didn't know would change my perspective was this book, 1 + 1 = 3, a masterclass in creative thinking by Dave Trott. Then another book, it's in the room, somewhere close by, is Confessions of an Advertising Man by David Ogilvy. David Ogilvy is one of the greatest ad men or agent, agency copywriter in the world. Such an incredible guy. So those are some books that I would recommend that you read. So next question.
Thank you very much, sir. Flourish. Adebi Flourish.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, CAV and Sir Osaretin. Recently, I applied for a job, and it wasn't stated that I was remote. That I was not remote, actually. Neither was it stated that it was not hybrid. It was an on-site job. Only for me to schedule a meeting. Okay, the CEO scheduled a meeting with me, and then even as he put up my CV, he now told me that before we move on, I just want to let you know that it's not a remote job. And to be quite honest, I was heartbroken because I think from his demeanor, I think he knew I was good for the job, a graphic design role actually. But like my question is this: why firstly, why are is it that remote jobs, graphic design jobs are difficult to find? And if not, where can I find some? Because where can I get some?
So I take it that you didn't accept that job offer. You declined. You moved on.
Oh yeah, like it was I thought it was remote, because I'm studying,
No, my point is you didn't accept the job offer. Yes,
No,
sir.
I didn't.
Okay, so yes, I hear that the market now is tricky to find jobs generally. However, my thoughts around it, my context is how I think about it is where there's a casting down, where the world says a casting down, I say that there's a lifting up for me. So my own experience is going to be different. So first off, tell yourself and start to believe and start to think through it that your own experience is going to be different. So it's okay if they say there's no job everywhere in the world. There's going to be a job for you. Start with there. Secondly, there's so many platforms to find jobs. So many. Thirdly, you also have to think about this thing even beyond just the traditional places you find jobs. There are other places, there are other things. So usually, again, I say it goes back to learning how to think. What I will also do is I will send, so Cap, there's two things you need to remind me about. Number one, list of books. Number two, links to places to find jobs. So I can just say, so that kind of solves your problem for you. So there's platforms like Otter, there's platforms like Indeed. And again, sometimes the title of the role might not reflect, if you read the description, so you have to also know how to read. Like you have to also be somebody who pays attention. If you pay attention to the description, they might call it a different role. So for example, they can say production designer, print production designer. They might say production designer. When you read the role, you realize that it's somebody who does print production designer, which is somebody who does a lot of environmental graphics and things like that. And if you're a graphic designer, you can apply for that role. But if you are looking for graphic design roles in quotes, you might not find. Do you get what I'm saying? So look, there are other roles that might not have the title you are looking for. A marketing designer is a graphic designer. A brand designer is a graphic designer. I know these roles are fancy titles we use now, but that person is a graphic designer. A product designer can be a graphic designer. A UI UX designer can be a graphic designer. It's just like in some cases, in those kind of roles, like graphic design and product design, they will ask you for a portfolio of those kind of designs. But if you design a website before, you have already done UI UX, because UI UX is very, let nobody deceive you. And another thing I'll tell you guys is learn to understand the true meaning of things. Don't let people use high-sounding words to confuse you. UI UX is user interface, user experience. And let me break it down for you so that you understand it forever. User interface is what you see on here. So it's the user interface is the interface that you engage with, right? The user experience is how you move from one thing to another. It's how you do stuff. It's how you press your dial button. It's how you search for contacts. That's the experience. User interface is what you touch, is the thing that you interact with. That's user interface. So don't think too hard about it. So those are other ways to find roles. So you might not, so that's one. Two, another thing, some people might be tricky, they might want to be smart about these things, but from the beginning, that's why I say it's also important to ask questions and be bold. Let me tell you something that you have to understand. They need you as much as you need them in that job, for that role. So when you're applying for that role, you need to understand that if they invite you for interview, you have something that 5,000 people does not have. So you qualify to be in that space. So carry yourself with confidence when you get into that conversation, and don't talk like you are begging for the work. No, you are bringing value to the table. You are solving a problem for that business. That's why they want to hire you. If that role does not solve a problem, they will not hire you. So come into that conversation with confidence, knowing that they are bringing you into that place for something that you're solving. So don't they're not doing you a favor. Don't think about it. They're not doing you a favor. Nobody's doing anybody a favor. This is a business transaction. I solve this problem for you. You pay me for solving that problem. So go into that conversation thinking about it that way. Don't think about it as, oh, let them give me the work, please. No matter the amount of money they call, don't let that one deceive you. Don't let it be. I'm not saying don't be appreciative and grateful for the opportunity. I'm saying go into the conversation, go into the room with your shoulders up, with your head held high, and sit in the conversation and listen and take notes and ask questions. If there's something you're not clear about, don't be afraid, ask questions. Is this role a remote role? Because I only want a fully remote role at the moment. That's what I want. If it's not a remote role, it's okay. Let them go. You don't. I'm not saying, look, in some conversations, you might need the role. So you might need to take the work to get to a certain point. It's okay. But you need to learn to ask questions. So is this more a fully remote role? It's not. Oh, it's not, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, sadly, I can't take the role because right now I'm only looking for a fully remote role. If you have that luxury to do that, make that kind of demand, then you can make that kind of demand. But again, approach the conversation with confidence. Next question. Let testimony.
Thank you very much. Mubarak. After you, we are going to take like 2 more, and that will be the end, please.
Okay, Mubarak.
Yeah, Mubarak.
Please pronounce your name, Mubarak. Your full name.
Mubarak Yakin.
Okay, I just wanted to know is that Arabic? That's Upper Arabic.
Yeah, yes. So good evening. Thank you very much for sharing your insights with us. So my question is regarding cracked softwares, because my design teacher also mentioned to me that we should try as much as possible to get off that phase of using cracked softwares and paying for genuine ones, because aside the fact that a lot of benefits they have, it also boosts one confidence. And ever since then, I've been using open source software. I use Inkscape and Figma. So my question now is that I've met some designers that they tell me that, okay, you need to learn Illustrator, Photoshop, and other Adobe softwares because they are the industry standard. So, like, I want to ask, what is your input on that? That should we take that as an excuse that, okay, it is the industry standard that when we get jobs, they might require that you know how to use this, you know how to use this, and continue using the softwares, or I should just stick to those ones I use to do my jobs since it gets the job done for me. So that's my question, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I like your question. Thank you for being open and asking a question, being honest. So number one, where you can find open source softwares, use open source softwares. If you cannot currently pay for software now. Now, if you have no choice but to crack, I'm not approving it. Maybe you can do it for a time, but you need to understand that your goal needs to be paying for it. Now, maybe we'll do a separate class on how to charge for projects, right? And what to consider when you're charging for projects, and how to bill for projects, and how to calculate. So what I mean by that is one way to calculate to charge for project is you need to know what your minimum level requirement is for project. What your minimum level money. What that means is that minimum level is your yearly spend divided by 12. So for example, if in the year what you need for that year, what I mean by that is you know what you spend monthly for food, water, light, everything. Basics. I'm not talking about you wanting to buy a new iPhone. No. I'm talking about what you need every month that are basics. So let's say your total spend for living cost is 200K a month. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying that suggestion. Your rent is probably 500K per year. Okay, sorry. People who live in Ikoyi. Your rent is probably 1 million per year. Even Ikoyi, you won't see 1 million per year. But let's say we are squatting in a boys' quarter with somebody. Maybe you see 1 million, but it's okay. I digress. Let's say your rent is 1 million naira per year. Your monthly spend is about 200K per month. Now 200K times 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So that's 2.4 million per year. Plus your rent of 4 million. That's 3.4 million. So what you really need per year, and that 200K includes data and everything. What you need per year to survive is 3.4 million. Now let's divide 3.4 million there per. That's the basis. I'm not saying you should charge this amount of money. 3.4 million divided by 12 is 283,000 naira. So you cannot take. So that's how you calculate it. Now you cannot take any project that is less than 300K. Because you need to be able to take enough projects to sort out your monthly needs and save for your rent. Am I talking to somebody? Right? Kavi, look, you can on your mic, so you can give me his feedback.
Yeah, so
right? So you know now you cannot take a logo of 70K. Somebody says, look, I do logo for me now 70K. Can't change the logo. Sure you get. So
yeah.
But I guess let me really answer Mubarak's question. My point is we'll have to do a class on how to charge, how pricing, creatives and money, how to charge. I need to do it. I would like to do a class on that.
See, I don't hear that. I have witnesses. How many are we here? We have like 58 people. I mean, 57 people that witnessed that he said we are going to do a class over here because I designed that flyer this week.
But I want to learn graphic designing as a whole. You don't need to learn it. You're already doing. What do you mean by what learning? But let me know. So Mubarak, what I would say is number one, where you can use open source, and Mubarak and everybody, where you can use open source software, use open source software. Plan to pay for your software now. So here's another thing that people don't know. A lot of businesses can afford to give you discounts on your tool if you ask. The current price for Adobe Creative Cloud subscription now, right now, if I'm not mistaken, is, as of right now, Adobe is giving 48% off all plans, right? Now, the current price for Creative Cloud, what I mean is it gives you access to all the softwares, After Effects, this and that, whatever software. The current prices I'm seeing right now with their 48% off promo, and if you've been on Instagram, Instagram particular, they've been running promo on 48% off for a long time, recently, in the past few weeks. Yes, since August, yeah. So the current amount that you're charging is $32.24. Now, let's just call it $33, right? Now, $33 times dollar is currently 1710. Let's just say, yeah, times 1710 at black market, that's 56,430 naira. Ideally, when you are charging for your projects, you should cost the cost of using software for that period of the project into the cost. That's what makes up your cost. You can't do a logo for 70K because your 56, 60, almost 60K of that money is going to pay for your software for that month. Do you get what I'm saying? And in fact, you have to even cost buying your computer because if you have a MacBook, ideally you should change your MacBook every 5 years, every 6 years, right? Depending on 5-6 years, right? If you have a PC, maybe 3 years. I'm not shading PC, I'm just saying, yes, Adobe has always been open to Nigeria. What do you mean by that? It's been open to Nigeria. I've been using Adobe in Nigeria since a long time. That has always been a myth. That thing people say Adobe is not open to Nigeria has always been a huge myth. I've been using Adobe software for a long time. I've been paying for it for a long time. I'm telling you, since way back as 2016, I've been paying for Adobe, or 2017, I'm paying for Adobe.
Chief, I think what they mean is like, because I know that when we wanted to buy, when I was at FCMB, they wouldn't take like Naira card, like not Naira card, but more like payments from us directly. I don't know how that works. They needed to use like $1, like a card from like outside. I don't know how the thing worked.
Oh yeah, so two things to answer that. To answer that. Number one, yes, there was a time when that was the case, but really what they wanted was to just get their money. So you had two options you could use. You could either use your dollar card, if you had a dollar card, or back in the day, banks used to allow you pay with your Naira card and they would do the dollar transaction. Then banks stopped it. They first reduced the money to say, okay, you can't do $100, you use $50, we pay $50, and then you stop it completely. The only bank that I know currently that does it, that I currently use, is ProvidusBank. They allow you pay with your regular Naira card, and then they take the Naira and convert it and take it in dollar. Right? Sorry, I apologize. I just need to tell this person what to do.
Yeah. Back of my head, they pay me. But like all this information, my brain is expanding small. And this is why these kind of things are important. These kind of conversations are important. The people that have been in certain places, yeah.
So for now, I currently use my ProvidusBank card to pay for all my dollar transactions if I need to use Naira to pay. But in other cases, I use dollar to pay. I just use my dollar card, direct dollar card to just pay because we have clients that pay us in USD, so that just solves our problem. So I don't have to change Naira or use ProvidusBank card. But that's one option. Two, so yeah, it's open to Nigeria. That's I mean, maybe before it wasn't, but now it is. So now you know. So, but what I'm trying to say is that that's currently 40 discount. And if you've been a Adobe paying customer, you can reach out to them and even say, guys, my business is slow this time around. I'd like some discount on my subscription because I can't afford to pay this amount of money that I'm paying. Can I get further discount? They'll give you discounts. In fact, you can ask them to give you. They've given me 3 months off several times to give me 3 months free subscription because I'm a paying customer. So there are years when I paid for only 9 months out of the 12 months here, 12 months in the year. Now, in fact, I used to pay $20 at a point in time when everybody was paying $60 because the subscription without the discount is $62.34 right now. And they just increased it with $2. It used to be $60 before. At the time, I used to pay $20 up until sometime this year. And then recently they increased they said they couldn't do anything less than. I think now I pay about $29, I think probably about $30 per my subscription now. And that gives me access to creative, all of the softwares, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Lightroom, everything, both on mobile and desktop. So where you can use free software, use free software. Where you can't use free software, or open source software. Let me say that correctly. Open source software or software that is actually free, not cracked, not hacked. Use and charge your clients. Put that cost for that software into the cost of your project, so that way you can be able to afford to pay for it in the future. And then, of course, you need to know that cost is. So we have this kind of. Yes, they have this kind of students. I don't know if they allow Nigerian students to. Maybe it's only foreign students they allow. I don't know. I've not tried it before. I'm not a student, so you can try it. If you have a student ID, try it and see if it works. But again, look, you have to also be willing to try things. Just because don't assume that it doesn't work and it's not. Try it. Let it be that you failed. You can ask after it didn't work because it might just work. The first time I asked Adobe for discount, I didn't know it would work. I was like, I just Googled, can you ask Adobe for discount or something? In fact, I wanted to cancel my subscription because it was at the time business wasn't coming in. I wasn't able to renew my subscription. So I did send them and asked my subscription. They said, we can give you a discount. I said, no, I don't want to. I said, so they said, you know what? So they ended up giving me about 6 months free and then giving me a discount on my subscription. So I decided to pay. I think at that time I was paying $19 or so, $18, $19 per month that time. So they gave me 6 months free. Say when you get back on your feet, these businesses these companies are willing to help. People don't know. They assume that it's not they can't. No, send them ask them questions. They will answer you a customer. Even if you're not going to ask them. But sometimes you have to be a paying customer to get these things. But they are willing to give these discounts. So yeah, next question.
Yeah, I think we just take one more person. Time don't work. Except if you have our see, if you say we should be
no.
You have routine.
I passed my dinner time already.
Exactly.
So it's very I don't want to have sugar daddy stomach. I want to have 6 packs.
All right. I think the other let's just take Myro, Myro, and then afterwards go close shop. I beg. Time don't go, no vex. Don't want to keep our amiable speaker, here for long.
Paul, are you there?
Me?
Yes, it'll be good in
politics. Right? I will get in there. Don't worry. You're not gonna see me. Yeah. Go ahead.
So my testimony is this, like you have been saying, right? There are some of us that has we do graphic design. Like me personally, I do graphics and I do UI UX. And I just casually took one course on video editing now. So now I have this particular problem, right? So sometimes I find it difficult to I don't really know. Sometimes up to now I find it difficult to position myself in the right place. There have always been statements like you should brand yourself in this way, be known for one particular thing before other things are whatnot. But now I'm just, in a, I don't know how to call it, probably maybe in the forest, and I don't know what's exact path to take. So what do you have to advise people like us? And I also have a request though. I don't know if I should ask it now or later.
Ask
You
now,
know,
ask now, ask now,
okay,
because
so from all the old talk, since I joined in halfway, right? And I don't know, I want to ask, you they take mentee? I would like I would like to be your mentee if you accept me, and I'll put in work. No fear for that one. So these are my questions.
okay. Sorry. What's this guy? What person who just? So
Name Paul.
Paul, I'm not sure that currently it's tricky, right? I'm available to ask questions. You can send me a DM or email me. I'll definitely answer questions. Um, uh, uh,
Okay, so see, it's not like I will not be on your neck every 2 seconds, but just I
no.
understand.
It's not. It has nothing to do with you being on my neck every 2 seconds. Just saying, because of my schedule, it's tricky for me, and for me, I don't think about mentee mentorship stuff. I mean, so another what you can do is also I'm on this thing called ADP lists. I think that's what it's called. So you can book a session with me there. I know that's free. So you can book a session with me on ADP list. I don't know what my link is now. My ADP list link is, but I'll find it. And so that's the thing Scarp needs to remind me of ADP list link. So send that link so you can book a mentor session with me. I think that answers your question. Now the other one about positioning, right?
You just me?
No, it's me. I had to get a call.
Okay.
So here's what I think about positioning. Don't worry too much about that. Don't worry too much about that. Just focus on doing great work with whatever you do. Don't worry too much about positioning. You can't tell me. I don't think nobody cares whether are you a graphic designer or you. My clients just want me because they want to solve their problem around branding, and they know we can do their website, we can do their graphics. Then don't worry, those things don't matter too much. You need to be known as somebody who solves problems more than somebody who can do great design. Finding designers not a problem. Finding designers who are intelligent, smart, know how to listen, know how to think, know how to communicate, know how to pick up their phone calls when clients call them, not the ones that they call them and they will not pick their phone call. They'll be saying, "What? Don't the graphic designers that give graphic design as a field or as a career in Nigeria bad name? Not those ones. The ones that you call them, they are reachable. Nobody is, and they give deadline. They say they will do it in 2 weeks. They deliver in 1 week. Those ones they're hard to find. I find designers who can think, who can solve problems on the spot, who can go the extra mile. Those things are not rare to find. Nobody cares about whether you can design graphics well or fine. It's not. If I ask you to design this book cover and you design something else other than this, it might not work. But you need to know how to think to design. And this book doesn't require any other thing other than this title, because this title alone is intriguing. So this book by itself, you need to know how to think to come up with ideas like this. So somebody could have said, let me put one and do some, what they call that thing. And that's what you do, where you hide something inside something, hidden things, where you hide one design inside another design, whatever that thing is. I don't know what's called. And I know how to do it, but I don't know what's called. You could have done, let me do one hidden in another one, and plus, and all that, whatever thing you will talk about. We will talk about what? These are this. You get? So then what's important is that people know you as somebody who solves problems with the thing that you're doing more than I want to be positioned for the negative space. Yes, that's the word. So do you get? So yeah, what I would say in that aspect is learn how to be excellent at your work, be very diligent. People should see your work and be like, who did this work? Because you are saying positioning, because Paul, let's have a little bit of time that so we can solve it matter with it. I think, and I might be wrong. I don't know if you answer yes or no. I think you are saying positioning because you don't have as much clients as you like to get now. Is that yes or no?
Yes.
And that's happening because I don't think your work is excellent enough and you're not doing excellent work yet. So you're not pushing out your work yet enough in an excellent way. You're not telling great stories with your work yet. It's like Cav. If you know anything, I wasn't surprised when Cav was working for got a job at Tech Cabal. I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised tomorrow when if she's presenting Apple products as presenting an Apple products on Apple, when I'm watching Apple events, stuff. I won't be surprised. There's a certain characteristics and a certain thinking and value system that makes see, you don't understand. See a man or woman diligent in their work, they will stand before kings and not mean men. That's what it is. We will be looking for you. In my own case, by God's grace, as I'm working on one project, another client come and say, want to work on another project. That's how it happens. Nobody, no, don't worry. Apple is not going to allow our wear Crocs. They have strict regulations, strict rules when it comes to how they dress. So they don't allow our wear Crocs. Can wear Crocs in the house, but not. I'm telling you, don't worry. I know that one. That one I can tell you for free.
Wait, who be this person?
So, what I would say is, don't worry about positioning. Worry about delivering excellent work and telling great stories with your work. Put it out there, and then people will see it and go, "Oh my God, this person." So it's not about just showing the logo. It's about showing your thinking process. It's not about even showing how you did plus. All those people with tree and tire and put equals to. It's not that. That's the bottom of the food chain. Go and see how Pentagram is selling their work. Go and see how they are posting their work on social media. That's how you need to be posting your work to reach those kind of clients that you want to reach. Clients that will pay you good money. Not all these ones who pay. No, it's not. Do you get? So I hope I've been able to answer your question. Don't worry about position. Just worry about leaving excellent work, and then you get clients. Next question.
Okay, God. No, next question.
Okay.
You don't want to eat. Thank you very much, very, very much, sir. So we'll hold your shirt for the next class, which is on creativity and creatives and money, right? Just like you have rightly said. But I would like us to approach it from the lens of charging, what you're worth, how to calculate it, and all of that, and also invest. I beg.
What I'm going to talk about is how to charge for your work.
Yeah.
So somebody please, okay, this is being recorded. So somebody please, I need someone to please send this back to me so I can remember how to charge for your work, how to manage your money, how to invoice clients. There's a way to invoice clients. How to save money, manage money. So managing your money, of course, talk about investing money, saving, how to I think those are take areas. How to charge clients, how to find out how much you should charge clients by time, what you should put inside that billing, how to invoice your clients, how to send proposals. Those things also part of your billing and commercials. How to manage your money, and then within managing money, you'll be invest, save, things like that. So yeah.
Awesome. I don't write them. See, I'm very, very grateful. I personally believe that nothing happens by chance, right? That you being here talking to us today, you are meant to be here, and you guys listening, to all of this that has been said today, you are meant to be here. So I want to beg in the name of God, whatever it is you've heard, put it in practice. She gets, this word has fallen to the ground, I beg, make it grow, make it bear fruit. Let it be that a few years from now you say, oh, I was in the class with Chief Osaretin and I heard this and I implemented it and this is what happened to my life. It changed me. All right. So please, I beg in the name of God, thank you very much, sir. I'm very, very grateful. I will reach out to you with all of these things that you have said I should remind you about, and also planning for the next class. Guys, in the comments, no, don't be ungrateful, please. Even a small thank you. 20 naira thank you is enough. I beg. 20 naira thank you.
$20 thank you, please.
$20. Ah, Jesus, I'm so sorry. $20,000. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we should just wrap it up here now, so I don't take a lot of your time. Anybody else have any other questions? Please ask in the group. I'll do my best to answer to the best of my ability. Yeah, so right. You're muted, sir.
Sorry, I've not been able to get on it's tricky getting on Telegram because I've been trying to get back on it. But what you can send me screenshots of it, and then I can probably just respond, and then you can send it in the group.
Ah, Jesus, thank you so much. That's awesome. So please, if you have any questions you are not able to ask today, drop it in the group. If the question no line up, well, people know Misha. But anyway, thank you, sir, and have a great night, everybody. If you can, you can go on Twitter and say thank you to him. Not DMO. Talk outside. Make people know say like this is value that you got. Say it outside. Don't go and say it in the private corner in DM. Okay, come outside and say it in public, right? So I don't know. Is there anything else that we need to cover again? Paula share. SCHER. Any questions you got? Really appreciate your time and insight. Anthony, what's up?
Sorry, it was a mistake. I was trying to check the chat.
Okay. Drop your flowers on the coffin. You know, serious. All right. So I think that's enough for tonight, Abby. Anything else they will supposed to cover again? That person will drag my Crocs. Just don't worry. Your slippers will cut. Just the watch. Just the worker for return will cut. And no malam for your area to swam back. So all right.
I dey wait for you. I dey wait for you for group. Come beat me.
Oh, yeah. I will send him a message and all the pictures of the book and all that. He's going to share it, right? So thank you guys for making time for this. I really
CAV, thank you. I love you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for organizing this.
You're the best. God
Clifford,
bless.
I know. Say now you go always come cast me. Clifford, calm down. Person no fit just hide.
And organize like another class with him. As you can see, he has a lot of value to give. And immediately he dropped a comment that he would like to speak about this session. I enter in DM, go beg him, say I beg. No even talk him as passing, I beg. If you feel help us find time, come follow us talk. And I had a lot planned in my own little coro, but this is much more than I could have planned. I mean, I wanted to even give actionable step. That step one, do this step two. Wait. But yeah, that's still valuable. But this one is real life experience from somebody that has been there for 10 years. All right. So I hope that you guys take whatever you have learned and implement it, and it gives you a lot of results. Okay. So thank you guys once again, and have a good night. I'll announce on the group when the next class is going to happen. And once again, if you have any other questions that came from this class, please drop it on the Telegram group. I will send him screenshots and then he can reply to everybody. All right. Hey, see my cousin. My cousin is here. His name is Chief Osaretin. He's the one that's clapping right now. That's my cousin. All right, guys. Odabo. Good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you.